When the heavens shattered into violet light and a door older than creation tore open in the void, Wang Lin did not bow. He stood alone amid the ruins of a dying world, thunder coiling around his body like a crown of defiance. Before him loomed an existence that made planets crumble and souls tremble. Yet within his eyes burned something far more terrifying than fear. If the heavens sought to claim what he loved, then he would overturn the heavens themselves. If you enjoy my way of explaining and storytelling, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep creating. Gazing upon the thunder-drenched earth, Wang Lin's origin soul felt an indescribable comfort. No vegetation grew here, no living creature could endure such merciless conditions. A place like this was exceedingly rare. Encircled by a vast asteroid field, the planet lay hidden from all notice. If not for Wang Lin's origin soul, he would never have discovered it. Though barren of life, the planet pulsed with immense vitality. The force of that vitality was no less than that of a cultivation world brimming with spiritual energy. Yet there was no spiritual energy here. Any trace of it would have collapsed instantly beneath the oppressive density of the thunder. The entire world was enshrouded in boundless lightning. Countless bolts crashed down from the heavens without cease. The ground absorbed them hungrily, and streams of thunder slithered beneath the surface like silver serpents. A strange gleam flickered within Wang Lin's eyes. This place was simply too perfect. It will take only half the effort to cultivate the thunder origin spell here. His origin soul descended, touching the ground. It was as though he had stepped into a pool of lightning. Ripples of thunder spread outward from him in concentric waves. Even the moon-gazer serpent's bone was wreathed in lightning. With a flicker of movement, Wang Lin guided the massive bone downward. When it struck the earth, it was as though a new mountain range had been born upon the planet. The impact caused the world itself to tremble. It resembled a stone cast into a pond, the bone the stone, the thunder the rippling water. In that instant, vast tides of lightning surged across the planet. The density of thunder multiplied several-fold. Endless rumbling filled the air, as if the echoes of antiquity had awakened. Wang Lin's origin soul sat down in the lotus position. He had yet to fully refine the ancient thunder dragon. Within his soul lingered a thin, twisting line that distorted faintly into the silhouette of a dragon. He formed a seal with both hands and rested them upon his knees. Thunder flickered within his eyes. At once an overwhelming suction force erupted from him, drawing the surrounding lightning inward. Crackling bursts resounded in every direction. Countless sparks danced through the air. Each spark alone would cause a first-step cultivator's expression to change, for within it lay the might of heavenly thunder. Wang Lin slowly closed his eyes and allowed the lightning to pour freely into his origin soul. Dense thunder gathered around him, growing thicker and more violent. Gradually, a colossal sphere of lightning formed, enveloping him entirely. Within the sphere, bolts descended ceaselessly upon his soul. They circulated through him in endless cycles before slowly dissipating. The process repeated again and again. Wang Lin forgot time itself. His entire being focused on the thunder. A crushing pressure filled this world, and it was steadily absorbed into him. From the outside, nothing seemed particularly unusual, aside from the thunder growing slightly more violent than before. Not far away, a celestial guard sat cross-legged upon an asteroid. Though its eyes were closed in cultivation, its divine sense spread outward without rest. Should the slightest threat approach Wang Lin, it would act immediately. When Celestial Emperor Qing Lin created the Celestial Guards, loyalty had been his foremost concern. Time drifted by silently. In the blink of an eye, 10 years passed without leaving a trace. Even the Thunder Planet showed little change, only a subtle thinning of lightning. Throughout those 10 years, the Celestial Guard did not stir once. It was as though waiting for the passage of time was its sole purpose, awaiting the distant hope of freedom. Within the Thunder Planet, the massive lightning sphere continued to absorb the descending bolts. Even distant thunder seemed drawn toward it, bending its path to join the gathering storm. Inside, Wang Lin's origin soul steadily recovered. This world was the perfect sanctuary for him. The endless thunder was like the finest medicine beneath heaven. He absorbed it without pause, and his injuries healed gradually. Another 10 years flashed by. On this day, Wang Lin's origin soul slowly opened its eyes. Within them surged the might of thunder. The instant his gaze parted, the lightning sphere around him exploded outward, spreading like a devastating thunder spell. Yet at the very moment it expanded, Wang Lin inhaled sharply. All the lightning froze mid-expansion, as though time itself had halted. Then, like the reversal of ages, the thunder contracted and was drawn back, streaming into Wang Lin's mouth. Lightning cloaked his body, forming armor of crackling brilliance. His hair moved without wind, streaked with arcs of electricity. If not for this place, recovering my origin soul would have taken several times longer. He lifted his gaze toward the heavens. The most pressing matter now is to restore my body. Reforging flesh is beyond ordinary cultivators. This requires the ancient god tactic. He pondered deeply. His body had once collapsed before restored only through the ancient god art. Though only my original body cultivated that technique, I can still draw upon a portion of its power to reconstruct myself. Determination filled his eyes. His hands formed a seal one inherited from the memories of the ancient god 2C. An ancient aura surged forth, enveloping the world. Even the thunder submitted to its presence. Wang Lin lowered his palms to the earth and uttered several complex, archaic syllables. A mysterious radiance shimmered within his eyes. Gather. At that single word, the thunder blanketing the planet seemed to liquefy. What began as a slow current quickly became a torrent, all lightning rushing toward him. The thunder poured into his palms, not sinking into his depths, but condensing around his hands. A numb sensation gradually arose, something only a physical body could feel. Wang Lin did not look down. He remained unmoving, as steady as a mountain. From above, one would see the planet's thunder visibly diminish, converging upon him in radiant streams. Dazzling flashes erupted endlessly. It seemed as though Wang Lin controlled all lightning beneath heaven. With but a turn of his hand, thunder itself would bow. Golden specks began to flicker within the converging storm. As more lightning gathered, the specks multiplied, gradually linking together, forming the outline of bones. The structure of a hand emerged, forged entirely from golden light, radiating overwhelming thunderous might. Time passed. Wave after wave of thunder entered Wang Lin. At last, the golden specks reached their limit, a pair of hand bones fully formed. To any observer, the sight would inspire awe. Aside from those solid golden hands, the rest of Wang Lin remained translucent, ethereal, and incomplete. Yet he did not stop. More thunder surged inward. The golden light extended upward, forming arm bones piece by piece. When the final traces of thunder upon the earth were drawn in a complete skeleton, hovered where Wang Lin sat. He slowly rose into the air. As he ascended, the remaining lightning in the heavens found its target and descended madly upon him. Bolts as thick as arms crashed down without pause. Intertwining lines of green and red shimmered across the skeleton, spreading like veins of life. Wang Lin's divine sense erupted outward, enveloping the entire planet. The thunder within his origin soul now seemed the sovereign of all lightning here. Suck. His divine sense transformed into a command. With a single word, the planet trembled violently. All remaining thunder was forcibly torn free, rushing toward him in a cataclysmic storm. The earth cracked. The sky's thunder nearly collapsed. Even the celestial guard beyond the planet opened its eyes, gaze gleaming. All thunder and most of the planet's vitality condensed upon Wang Lin. Flesh and blood began to form slowly over the skeleton. At this moment, he was one with the world. Thunder flowed through him, vitality merged into him. The very life force of the planet became nourishment for his rebirth. Time flowed on. From the beginning of his origin soul's recovery until now, 60 years had passed. In those 60 years, it was as though the Thunder Planet had lived through an entire lifetime. Its lightning had grown thin and sparse, so much so that even the celestial guard could now step upon its surface. All remaining thunder and vitality had gathered into a single cocoon 30 feet tall, towering and radiant. On this day, the cocoon opened. A naked figure tore open a gap from within the cocoon and stepped out slowly. Rich thunder surged wildly from the tear, pouring outward in violent streams. Yet the lightning did not originate from the cocoon, it was born from the body itself. He was Wang Lin. He inhaled deeply, lowering his gaze to examine his newly formed flesh. A strange expression flickered across his face. 60 years. 60 years of absorbing boundless thunder and inexhaustible vitality had forged this body. Within it flowed the power of lightning itself, forming a profound resonance with the thunder contained in his origin soul. With a single thought, his origin soul drifted out from his body. It hovered in the air, circling once like a curious phantom, before gently returning to merge with him again. A long peal of laughter erupted from Wang Lin's mouth. It rolled like thunder across the heavens. The sound echoed through the world, reverberating over land and sky, a cry of defiance, as though challenging the very heavens themselves. I have been granted a new life. I will not squander it. With a wave of his hand, his bag of holding emerged from within his origin soul. A set of white robes appeared draping over his body like flowing clouds. He descended to the ground and sat cross-legged. His gaze settled upon the mountain, resembling a crouching dragon, the colossal moon-gazer serpent bone. A glint of light flashed in his eyes. He slapped his bag of holding, and the 1 billion soul flag appeared in his grasp. With a flick of his sleeve, countless soul fragments surged forth like a dark tide. Had the planet still retained its former density of thunder, these fragile fragments would have been annihilated instantly. The vast sea of soul fragments condensed, forming 3 primary souls that drifted silently around the area. After arranging this protection, Wang Lin spread out his divine sense, sweeping across the surroundings with meticulous care. Only after confirming there was no hidden danger did he take a slow breath and raise his right hand to his brow. A ripple spread across his forehead. From within, a crystalline bead slowly emerged. His eyes burned like twin flames. Forming a seal, he pointed forward. The Heaven-Defying Bead flew out and landed upon the mountain-like moon-gazer bone. Compared to the towering mass of bone, the bead was insignificant, no more than a speck against a mountain. Yet Wang Lin's expression was incomparably grave. This heaven-defying bead was his greatest treasure, obtained from the all-heaven star system. His divine sense blanketed the surroundings without the slightest lapse. At the first hint of danger, he would act without hesitation. That was why he had waited until his physical body was fully restored before bringing out the bead. Without flesh, he could not unleash his full strength. To expose such a treasure prematurely would have been reckless suicidal. The heaven-defying bead radiated a soft golden glow. Under its illumination, the moon-gazer bone trembled faintly. Metallic essence hidden within the bone transformed into fine golden threads that slowly drifted toward the bead, where they were absorbed. The process was agonizingly slow. Wang Lin did not understand why. When absorbing the water element, the bead had advanced far more swiftly. Yet the closer it approached completion, the more sluggish the absorption became. His divine sense continued sweeping outward, vigilant without pause. He even dispatched the 4th soul to conceal itself near the planet. Through that soul, his awareness expanded even farther, like invisible roots spreading through the void. Days passed. The moon-gazer bone was simply too immense. Its refinement could not be hurried. After several days, Wang Lin separated a strand of divine sense and retrieved several magical treasures. They all belonged to greed spoils he had obtained 60 years ago. The first was the giant celestial mountain. Though damaged, it radiated dense celestial spiritual energy. Even better, greed's divine sense imprint upon it had long since dissipated. This was what tempted Wang Lin most. The disappearance of greed's imprint did not mean greed had died. Rather, it had been erased during a century of assimilation with the moon-gazer bone. Wang Lin placed his right hand upon the mountain, recalling the scene when greed extracted its soul. His gaze remained calm as his fingers gently traced its surface. Extracting the soul of mountains, rivers, even planets, this was a divine ability reserved for second-step cultivators. Yet when the scattered devil had once controlled his body, Wang Lin had personally experienced that spell. As his hand moved across the stone, it suddenly halted. A strange light flickered in his eyes. He slowly lifted his palm. An ancient aura seeped from the mountain, saturated with rich celestial spiritual energy. Between his hand and the mountain, a small sphere of illusory mist condensed. Wang Lin's movements were exceedingly gentle. His eyes shone like lightning as he stared at the misty sphere hovering in his palm. The aura it emitted was formidable. Most astonishing of all, the celestial spiritual energy within it was perfectly contained, as though a true celestial were personally casting the spell. Though this mountain soul is far weaker than when greed wielded it, it remains extraordinarily powerful, yet it is unstable. If mishandled, it may not harm the enemy, but myself. His eyes gleamed. The instability stemmed from the mountain's incompleteness. The damaged body had injured its soul. Even more shocking was how effortlessly he had extracted it. It felt as though a mere thought would suffice. That was what truly unsettled him. After a moment, he gently pressed the soul back into the mountain. Then, without pause, he placed his right hand upon the earth beneath him. With a thought, he attempted once more. His hand rose. In his perception, the entire planet seemed to tremble. Yet in reality, not a single grain of soil shifted. The ancient aura flickered briefly, then collapsed. It was like lowering a wooden bucket into a well and drawing up a full load of water, only for the bucket's base to shatter midway, spilling everything back below. The one pulling the rope would feel a violent jolt. If careless, he could injure himself. That was precisely what Wang Lin experienced. The instant the aura dissipated, a tremendous backlash struck him. Popping sounds erupted from within his body. His face turned pale, and it took a long while before he steadied his breathing. He stared at the celestial mountain before him and inhaled deeply. Its true value was not merely its power, but that it allowed him to glimpse a second-step spell. This treasure is of immense use to me. I only wonder how greed discovered and refined it. Though greed had been his enemy, Wang Lin could not help but feel a trace of admiration. Ancient thunder dragon, celestial mountain, ancient god furnace, mountain and river screen, that strange crown, and who knows what else lies hidden in his bag of holding. He sighed. Each treasure alone would drive cultivators into madness, yet somehow none had been taken from greed. This left Wang Lin utterly perplexed. He put away the celestial mountain. It should be repairable, though it will require origin energy. Then he retrieved another item, the mountain and river screen. Wang Lin himself had never heard of the mountain and river painting. Yet among the renowned figures of the cultivation world, it was legendary. Ranked 5th among the top 10 high-grade celestial treasures of the celestial realm. Its surface spell was unpredictable, but its true terror lay in the ink. Though black in appearance, the ink was in truth dark red, formed from blood. The blood was the source of its supreme power. Rumor claimed it was the blood of the heavenly Tao itself. Yet the heavenly Tao had no form. How could it possess blood? Thus the mystery endured through the ages. It was also known as the heavenly Tao painting. What greed possessed was not the original, but an imprint transferred onto a screen. What kind of supreme spell could replicate such a treasure onto a mere screen? Greed had scoured countless ancient records, yet never uncovered the answer. Wang Lin examined the screen. It appeared plain and unremarkable, no different from decorative furnishings in modest mortal households. The landscape upon it seemed blurred, yet the longer one gazed, the clearer it became. A crack split the image from left to right, dividing mountain from river, marring its harmony. The divine sense imprint had already been obliterated by the ancient god finger. Wang Lin waved his hand and left his own imprint upon it. After a moment's thought, he opened his mouth and drew the screen into his origin soul. Thunder surged within as he began refining it. Finally, he took out the crown. He had witnessed it endure the ancient god finger of the moongazer serpent without so much as a scratch. Holding it in his left hand, he scanned it carefully. Nothing unusual. It resembled the crown of a mortal emperor, except for the 5 beads. His eyes narrowed. Each bead contained the power of one of the 5 elements. They resembled Red Butterfly's 5 elemental spirits, yet possessed even greater vitality. After a moment of contemplation, Wang Lin placed the crown upon his head. Instantly, a mysterious force descended from above. It traveled through his body, sweeping across flesh bone and meridians before returning to the crown and falling silent. A strange light flickered in his eyes. He removed the crown and studied it thoughtfully. That force was not strong. It felt as though it was searching for something. When it failed to find what it sought, it withdrew. His gaze sharpened. What was it looking for? He murmured softly. 5-element bead. Searching. Suddenly his pupils contracted. Pseudo 5-element body. Red butterfly. Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding while deep in thought. A blue rose appeared in his palm. The rose was delicate beyond compare, its petals tender as though carved from moonlight. It radiated a soft blue glow. The moment it emerged, that azure light spread outward, casting the surroundings into a hazy illusion. A chilling aura followed in its wake, sweeping across the area. Yet this cold was not ordinary frost. It carried an indescribable pride. Only cultivators who possessed their own domain could sense that pride with their origin souls. To mortals, it would merely feel as though the temperature had suddenly plummeted, and for an instant, the world would seem to vanish, leaving only the rose behind. But in Wang Lin's eyes, beyond that pride, he saw something more. A figure. An incomparably beautiful woman, aloof and arrogant, her bearing cold as eternal ice. Wang Lin gazed at the rose for a moment before placing it beneath the crown. His eyes shone as he stared intently. The instant the crown touched the rose, the 5 jewels embedded within it burst into radiant brilliance. An invisible force flowed from the crown toward the rose. The blue rose slowly dissolved before his eyes, breaking apart into countless specks of azure light. Those motes merged seamlessly into the crown. For a long time, the crown radiated a deep blue glow. Eventually, the light faded, returning to calm. Wang Lin frowned slightly as he picked up the crown and examined it. After a moment, realization flickered across his gaze. Compared to before, the crown now seemed to possess a faint trace of spirit. As he scrutinized it carefully, he vaguely discerned a figure within, someone holding a sword, standing in silent stillness. Beyond that, he could discover nothing more. This crown endured the ancient god finger without the slightest damage. It is certainly no ordinary treasure. But how is it meant to be used? Wang Lin muttered softly. He recalled Greed's words that it had required the souls of 9,999 emperors to activate it. What do emperor souls have to do with the 5 elemental spirits? What is the connection? He shook his head slowly. Could it be that the original owner was an emperor who possessed a complete 5 elemental body, and only such a person could awaken it? The thought lingered, but he could not confirm it. He had examined the crown repeatedly. Aside from identifying the flame dragon bone knowledge inherited from Tu Si's memories, he could determine nothing about the other materials. Its origin was ancient, unfathomably so. After a while, Wang Lin withdrew his attention and turned his gaze toward the distant moon gazer bone. Days of absorption had steadily reduced the metal element contained within it. Time flowed silently. Throughout, Wang Lin remained vigilant. Though this place lay remote and hidden, he dared not relax. 3 months passed in the blink of an eye. No one came. By then, all of the metal element within the moon gazer bone had vanished. Wang Lin had once feared that half of the moon gazer bone would not suffice to complete the Heaven-Defying Bead. Yet now, before his very eyes, the image representing the metal element within the bead reached perfection. The metal element was complete. The bead erupted in brilliant radiance, its surface transforming into something crystalline and translucent. An ancient aura surged from within it. Above the bead, the powers of the 5 elements intertwined, forming a swirling convergence. The bead slowly rose into the air. Wang Lin's eyes flickered with a strange light. Without hesitation, He bit the tip of his finger and flicked out a drop of blood infused with his divine sense imprint. The blood streaked forward and landed upon the bead. The instant it was absorbed, Wang Lin's mind trembled violently. It was as though something new had been born within his origin soul. At the same time, an ancient symbol appeared in his consciousness, complex and profound. Wang Lin stared at the heaven-defying bead, his gaze calm yet resolute. He had waited nearly 1,000 years to complete it. Yet he felt no exhilaration, only caution. This treasure had accompanied him through countless trials, but his understanding of it remained shallow. What exactly are you? Did you truly originate from the ancient celestial realm, as that woman once said? Raising his hand, Wang Lin formed his fingers into a brush and began tracing the symbol that had appeared within his mind. Each stroke was intricate beyond compare. Each line exuded an ancient aura. Under his focused gaze, the symbol gradually took shape. As it formed, the ancient aura thickened to an overwhelming degree. Even the aura the scattered demon had once displayed while possessing Wang Lin's body could not compare. The aura spread. The entire planet trembled. Vitality was suppressed. Cracks split across the Earth's surface. Wang Lin drew in a deep breath. The moment the symbol was complete, he struck it with his palm. It drifted slowly toward the hovering heaven-defying bead. Suddenly, a beam of violet light burst forth. It was so intense that Wang Lin could barely keep his eyes open. The celestial guard's body instantly emitted the scent of decay. Its form began disintegrating at a visible rate. Wang Lin was shocked. With a single thought, he recalled the celestial guard into his shadow. The decay halted, though the lingering stench remained. The three primary souls fared no better. Had Wang Lin reacted even a breath later, they would have completely disintegrated. The violet light expanded. It swallowed the entire planet, dyeing it in a deep purple hue. At its peak, the planet began to crumble like a sandcastle, erased by an unseen spell. The violet radiance did not stop there. It continued outward, engulfing nearby asteroids. Some shattered instantly into dust upon contact. In the vast emptiness, it seemed that only Wang Lin and the bead remained. Everything else had become a world of terrifying violet brilliance. Wang Lin's heart shook violently. He had entertained countless speculations about the bead's completion, but never this. Gradually, the violet expansion ceased. The majority of the 5 elemental power that had gathered dissipated in an instant. Nearly 1,000 years of accumulation was released at once. The violet light remained densest at the bead's center. Then, with a thunderous rumble, a colossal door slowly emerged. It was unimaginably vast. Before it, Wang Lin was no more than an ant. A restriction formed, instantly sealing off the region touched by violet light. Wang Lin needed only a single glance to understand. There was no studying such a restriction. No living being could step within it. It was as though a portion of the all-heaven star system had been forcibly carved out and isolated from reality by an incomprehensible spell. Within that isolated expanse, only the massive door remained. Wang Lin stared at it. His mind trembled. For the first time in countless years, fear arose within him. True fear. Such an emotion was rare for Wang Lin. His Tao did not permit submission. Yet this fear was instinctual, emerging from the deepest layers of his soul. He could not suppress it. It was as though the existence before him belonged to an entirely different realm, a chasm that could never be crossed. He had not felt such a sensation in ages. Even before the moon-gazer serpent, he had only been shocked, not shaken to his core. Now he felt like a mortal youth once more standing at the foot of Heng Yue sect's towering peak, gazing upward in awe. That pure, helpless reverence. As his cultivation deepened, that feeling had long since faded. Even under divine retribution in the demon's spirit land, he had relied upon his Tao heart to resist. But now, though the great door emitted no pressure, his body trembled. His soul quaked. Never yield. Blood filled Wang Lin's eyes. His body shook violently, yet he clenched his teeth and raised his head. He would never bow. Just as he had refused to bow when climbing Heng Yue sect's mountain, bleeding, battered yet unbroken. The awe surged like a tidal wave, seeking to drown him to force submission. But he could not submit. He would not. Within the heaven-defying bead rested the souls of Wan Er and Wang Ping. They were his reverse scale. He would allow no one, no force to threaten them. Heaven-defying bead, I completed you. Wang Lin's voice trembled, yet each word rang with unyielding will. If the heavens dare harm those I cherish, I will slaughter the heavens. If you defy me, then I will destroy you. His Tao roared. The ancient thunder dragon within his origin soul surged madly through his body. Lightning flooded his flesh of thunder. Crackling arcs erupted from beneath his feet, spiraling upward. At that moment, Wang Lin resembled a celestial born of lightning itself. He commanded thunder, and within that thunder burned his indomitable Tao. The earth collapsed beneath him, yet he stood firm. Bloodshot eyes fixed upon the colossal door. His Tao suppressed the suffocating awe clawing at his soul. Unyielding, unbending, the violet mist cloaking the door shifted. From within it, a gigantic arm slowly formed. It extended outward, waving toward Wang Lin as though beckoning him. With his extraordinary eyesight, Wang Lin instantly discerned one chilling truth. That arm did not belong to an ancient god.